So one of the very things that I've said on many of my videos from my are these Mustangs good in 2023 to my recent are these good in 2024, which is a pretty big weak point for these S197s 2011, or even just Mustangs from 2011 through 2018 or 2020 is the MT82. Now with this one, I've had no issues with it, but as you noticed, I shifted from second to fourth. Recently, my third gear, the third gate, the synchros, the forks or whatever went out. So whenever I downshift or even shift to a gear, which is third, this is what happens. Oh, now it doesn't even want to do it. Recently, it's been my third gear. So let me see, there's not really much cars here. Let me turn up my area. So I'm gonna go ahead and downshift to third and see if it does it. So as you can see, it's grinding. So what's next? Well, you know, there's a couple things that you can do. You can either, of course, just go ahead and rebuild it, or you can, you know, get a different MT82, which I really don't recommend. But you can go for a Ben Calamer Stage 2. I would not recommend the Stage 3 because I hear that there is some problems with the 4th and 5th synchros with that one. So with the Stage 2 Ben Calamer, I believe that they like strengthen the 1st to 4th synchros. So I can't really go into detail or like really show you what's going on or what a synchro is. So, and shout out to HRE IRL, and I'm just gonna let him talk about it.
I'm joking. Okay, so we have it all together. So what happens is the synchro inner goes in, drives that balk ring up, the gears match speed, and then what happens is the dog teeth can come together. To us, what that gives us is what feels like a completely seamless gear change. Do an exploded view. Let's bring that back out again. So what have we got? We've got our balk ring, and our balk ring is a clutch that is spinning freely on the gear we want to speed match. That gear currently is spinning free of that shaft, so the shaft is stopped and the gear is spinning free. When we want to engage that gear, what we have is our synchro hub inner, which is splined to the main shaft. If I try and turn that, the output shaft is turning, this gear is spinning free. It comes in and it joins that loose balk ring to the gear we want to speed match. The two of those then get driven by the output shaft to bring up the speed, and that then will allow our gear selector outer to get its dog teeth to engage, and then off we go, we have drive. We've now connected the lay shaft to the primary and to the output shaft and the output third motion, and the gears drive and it turns.
Or I was thinking of just going full send on the Tremec Magnum XL. Now those transmissions, in my opinion, and what most people say, those are the transmissions that should have been on these Mustangs from the beginning, but you know, we've gotten the MT82. So if I switch over to that, there's a few things I'll need to switch out, which I'll need to switch out my clutch with I believe it's a 26 spline. I'm not sure, I probably got it all messed up, but I will need to switch out to a better clutch, and I'll also need to switch out to a, I believe, a certain type of drive shaft. It's the, I forgot the name, but I'll put it on the screen right here. But my first and second, my fourth, my fifth and sixth worked perfectly. It is just my third. Now I've been looking around for, you know, just a temporary MT82. I found one for like $1,000, except like there's some pretty big issues with that one. Well, not really a big issue. It's one that I could probably fix, but I just can't find the part for. So I found a 2015 MT82 with a MGW shifter, and with that one it would be so perfect, except on the 2015 MT82s. Those ones I believe are the MT82 D4, and with that one it has a little bit of a different flange to it. So it has like a third bolt, or you could also put an adapter on it for the 2015 and up Mustangs. But for these 2011 through 2014s, they have the 4-bolt flange. And if I were to switch over to that, you know, that 2015 one, I will need a different flange, but I couldn't find one. They were all discontinued, and I'm not even sure if I could take out like the flange that I have on this transmission. I'm not sure if I could switch that out, because I really don't want to mess with like any parts that I have on this transmission. Really, I just want to get it really like out the way. So I'm not sure what I want to do right now. If you see this light, that's because I'm going back to my 91 gas grade. I had E85. It's cool and everything, but you know, with the cold and everything, I really just don't want to deal with like the constant, you know, like rough cold starts and everything. I will be switching over to it like once the weather gets better, but until then I am just trying to empty out the tank. I believe I have like 30 more miles to go, around there. Empty as much as I can, and then switch back to 91. Option that I think would be like, you know, one of the best ones is going with the Tremec, the Magnum XL. And that's something that I, you know, always wanted on this one, but I was like, you know, I already, you know, like I don't really have problems with this transmission, so I don't really need to switch it. Well, I guess now it gives me like an excuse to really go ahead and switch over to the Tremec. And I'm not saying that, you know, you shouldn't own one of these with an MT82, because this is, I want to say, 80% my fault. Because, you know, you see like the videos, like especially like on my shorts and everything that I make, how much I like shift with this thing. So would I recommend an MT82? No. But if you do end up with one, which, you know, most stick shift Mustangs will have, you could switch out there's a couple things that you can switch out really. One is the clutch, another one is the shifter, and then if you want to go really overboard, going with a stronger synchros. Now, I'm not just like, you can't just get like any like stage 2, you can't just get like any like other clutch and you'll like, you know, fix all the problems. There's a certain setup that you need to have like a good MT82. Before the fuel, or it says 10 miles to E-fuel low. Bro, I'm so dyslexic. 10 miles to E-fuel level low. So I'm gonna try to get this thing to at least single digits. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a U-turn real quick and then head to that quick trip right there. When I switched over to 85, I think I left, I think it was like at 14, 13 or something like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see how far I can get with this like last little bit. Okay, it is at 9 miles to E, fuel level low. As you can see, it's starting to turn red, so I'm just gonna go ahead and switch it out right now. Man, watch me not even have the tune for it. That would really suck. Let's go. All right, I'll get back to you in a bit.